May the 4th be with you. It's time for Gen X to let go of the Star Wars saga. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's go back.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gen X Unfiltered, the podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Eric. How are you today?
Well, hello,
Doing good.
Kelly.
Happy
Hello, Steve.
I was happy, everybody. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I'm just going to let Eric take it away because we're talking about stuff today that I don't know nothing about.
So we're talking about Star Wars Day. So this podcast is going to be up a little early for Star Wars Day, but for all the fans out there who are celebrating, happy Star Wars Day to you.
Happy May the 4th, everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
May the 4th be with you.
Happy Nerd Day.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, so to set the tone here, why don't we talk about our own personal level of Star Wars expertise? So, Kelly, why don't you kick us off? Like, we all have different levels of expertise in the Star Wars
Yes,
universe, right?
disclaimer. We all have different levels of expertise. Some of us, none.
Yeah.
Me. Okay, so way back in the day when those movies were out and I was a wee little tot.
You were a Todd?
Tot.
Todd, yeah.
I've had a drink, okay? I'm feeling a little loopy.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure I watched all three of them. My dad was a fan of them, but I remember The Empire Strikes Back mostly.
Yeah.
So I don't even think we mentioned, but a couple weeks ago, we all rewatched those three original movies.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Pretty much one of my first times watching it. So we could sort of talk about.
Exactly. So you got to have some fresh context, have the movies fresh in mind for today's conversation.
Yeah. So long story short, pretty much The Empire Strikes Back is the only one I saw when I was a kid. Out of every single movie, is the only one I saw.
Yeah.
And then we rewatched the three of them. So that's where my level of knowledge is at.
Gotcha.
Nothing.
So Kelly's pretty much newbie level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve?
So I watched them like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'd seen them probably a few times, but I hadn't seen them in probably 30 years, maybe more, until we watched them again. So, but I still follow along with it. And I know about it, and
you've watched some of the newer ones.
I saw a couple, not all of the newer ones, but I saw 2 or 3 of them. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy Star Wars. I liked it, but I'm not like a major fan by any means. But I definitely know more than Kelly, and paying attention to
You're
stuff
like
online.
an intermediate.
Yeah.
Okay. And Eric.
I'd call myself an intermediate as well, but I think for like this panel, I'm probably like the expert, I guess.
Eric, you know more than all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Like by no means am I like a Star Wars like expert.
Jedi, he's Jedi level between the three of us.
I've seen all the movies that came in the theater. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple of the TV series and a couple of the cartoons that came out back in the day. I haven't read any of the books.
But you also have a brother who's a huge
My brother
fan.
is an absolute Star Wars like nut. He has books, the video games, all sorts. Oh yeah,
your brother's.
He's deep into the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Does he like know all the like little like trivia and stuff?
I would say yes.
Ooh, we should have had him on.
He could have been a panel.
He could have
on the panel today, I guess.
And he would have been so annoyed at all of us.
Probably, because when I say things, he'll like give me like a cringe look, like you don't know what you're talking about.
All right, fair enough.
But anyways, so this podcast we're doing it in honor of Star Wars Day. So may the 4th be with you. So I want to go and give a little history on the Star Wars Day, when it started, and what exactly it is.
Before you do that, though, can I give a little disclaimer before we get too deep into this video?
Okay, go for it. What's
your
disclaimer?
Because I know I'm going to say things that are going to make people upset because it just is what it is.
Okay.
I want to say I'm going to refer to Star Wars fans as nerds.
Yeah.
It's a term of endearment for me. I love nerds. Do what you're passionate about. Love what you love. But it's just a little nerdy. It's a little nerdy.
I can see that.
Right?
Okay.
So,
passion. Maybe passionate.
If I call people nerds, I love nerds. I think nerds are really cool. We need more nerds in this world. So I'm not trying to offend.
So you're not
anybody.
using the word as a slight.
No.
Okay.
It's a term of endearment.
Term of endearment. Okay.
Term of endearment.
I love nerds. So
Kelly loves nerds.
Let's just get that out of the way because that's just, I don't want to make
great
anybody.
People.
Yeah. Oh, the candy is good.
Candy is good.
Have you tried nerd clusters? They're like, whew.
No.
Anyway, go on, Eric.
Anyways, so backtracking to Star Wars Day, right? And what is Star Wars Day? So it's an informal commemorative day observed annually on May the 4th to celebrate the Star Wars media franchise. So it's a day to celebrate all things Star Wars. And are you ready for this? Incoming dad joke. So the date originated from the pun, "May the 4th be with you," which is a variant on the Star Wars catchphrase, "May the Force be with you." So remember in Star Wars?
Yeah, May the Force be with you.
So something they say is like a greeting to each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So from that came the pun, "May the 4th be with you."
I want to know who like invented that. Who was the one that decided that was going to be the pun?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
That's a good question.
I bet you there's so many people that probably say it was me.
I did a little research, and actually
you
it came
did?
up when Margaret Thatcher won the election way back in like 1977 or something like that.
Yeah.
It happened in May, and someone said like at one of the press conferences, "May the fourth be with you."
Ooh.
Yeah, that was one of the first times on record that people actually remember someone saying that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you there's somebody out there listening or watching us who has answers to who the person that started that.
Or it's probably one of those things that's much discussed. By
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm
haters.
sure there's like, I did it. No, he did it.
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
it. Whatever.
I heard a guy at a bar in 1970, whatever, say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, since Star Wars was released in 1977, there's been lots of Star Wars Day celebrations like at the grassroots level, nothing official. The very first official organized Star Wars Day celebration took place in 2011 for us Canadians, Toronto, Ontario, at the Toronto Underground Cinema.
Toronto, Canada has so
That's
much
right.
so many nerds.
We're at the forefront of nerd fandom.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Nerd culture.
Yeah.
so something for us to be proud of, I guess.
That's right.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love nerds. Bring
Okay.
them on. Bring
there
on
we
the
go.
nerds.
There we go. So I mean, Star Wars was a huge thing for Gen X, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of
yeah,
bring
yeah.
it back to Gen X. Like Star Wars came out in 77,
Yeah.
so right in that Gen X wheelhouse. And as a kid, I guess what was your first memories of Star Wars? Did you have the toys? Anything like that? Did it have any impact on the young life of Kelly?
Okay. Well, the first movie came out in 77. We weren't born yet.
No,
Yay.
no.
But like I said, my dad was the one who liked the movies. Empire Strikes Back is the one movie I remember the most because I think he had illegally recorded it off the TV or something.
Ooh, I remember there's a big deal recording movies off TV. Yeah.
We had a beta. It wasn't even VHS. It was beta. And it was one of the ones with the yellow sticker and it said Empire Strikes Back. So I think me and my sister just naturally watched that one a bit more because, I mean, we didn't have a lot of movies. You just watch it.
Yeah.
But as far as toys and stuff, that's a big fat negative.
Nothing, eh?
No, not a single toy.
Nothing.
Not even a little Princess Leia in your house.
No,
toy?
don't even
No?
get me started on Princess Leia. I have a whole
Okay.
thought about her. We'll get to that.
All right.
But no toys, nothing like that. My dad, even to this day, he'll still watch on the new Star Wars. So my dad's a fan. He's not like a fanatic, but he enjoys the movies. So that's really literally, and until we rewatch these three, I haven't seen anything in between. So I am a complete, and just to be fair, like I'm going to call it this genre, even though it's probably not like science fiction-y fantasy. Like that's not my regular genre of movie anyway. So it's not really like my thing. I had enough trouble with Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Get ready to call me a nerd, but Star Wars is not pure science fiction.
Ugh, I
No, I
knew
know.
it.
That's like a subgenre of science fiction called space opera.
Okay, that's even worse. Like, who wants to watch space opera? Like, it's just like a soap opera in space?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
there's all sorts of drama and like interpersonal like struggle.
Ooh, I like that. These nerds, you guys are cool. I like it.
Thank you.
Anyway, what about you, Steve?
Yeah. Oh, I 100% had toys. Yeah, I had more of like the figurines and stuff like that. I never had any like the. I don't remember.
There were some pretty cool vehicles back then.
Yeah, my buddy had the big. I remember as a kid he had the big. I think it was the Tauntaun. It was called the one in the winter.
Oh, the walker, the AT walker.
It was an AT or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, the Tauntaun was like that was the animal. Luke
that's
Skywalker
right. Yeah, it's
rode.
Atas or whatever, Tatas or whatever.
It's a weird like dog thing with two legs.
That's the Tauntaun.
That's the Tauntaun. Yeah. But no, so you had the big walking one, and I know I definitely had. I think I had like C-3PO, R2-D2, maybe
The little droids, the robots.
I had a couple of those like figurines. I definitely had. I remember I had a Ewoks watch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember having that.
Yeah.
I remember actually it was just weird. I remember getting at the mall too when I was like 5.
Yeah.
Probably maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I remember having the Ewoks. It was like an Ewoks book that had a record with it. So I played on like, the Fisher Price record and would like, kind of read along to the story with like sound effects and stuff like that. So I had a bunch of just random stuff.
Yeah.
I saw the first 3 movies, and then after that, I saw a couple of the new ones, but not all of them. And I kind of fell off after, like in high school and stuff like that. I really didn't care about Star Wars or that at all.
Yeah.
I remember when they released like the characters and stuff like that. Though I remember buying the Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper figurine just for fun.
Oh yeah, like in the mid '90s, they released
when they re-released them.
They brought the toys back out again. The Power of the Force series.
Yeah, I think I still actually have them somewhere in a drawer somewhere. So I remember picking those up because I thought it was kind of cool. But I kind of fell off at that point. Like I didn't watch the movies. I hadn't watched them in years until we rewatched them for this.
So you weren't a Star Wars nerd?
No. Okay. I remembered it and I followed along. Seeing stuff and like when they came back when they re-released like the THX audio and I remember all that stuff. But I didn't really follow on that much.
What about you, Eric?
Oh, I had some toys.
Yeah.
So, when I was a little kid, I loved Star Wars. I had a bunch of the figurines. I had like Luke Skywalker and Chewbacca and C-3PO, and I had a bunch of I had one vehicle, which was the speeder bike rider from Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So it was really cool. Like a little button on the back, you'd hit it, and it would like fall apart and explode. It was spring loaded. I thought that was pretty cool. I had some friends actually who had a friend who had the Millennium Falcon, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
That's cool. Yeah.
It was huge. It had I think it was battery powered, so it had like lights that would come on. And stuff.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, I definitely had some like the Star Wars toys growing up, and Kelly's
just rolling her
eyes.
You might as well be speaking a different language. You've been using words that I don't even know what they mean.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
You should, because you watch the movies with us.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
All this stuff was referenced in it.
There's a lot of information in those movies that you watch them once, you can't retain it.
Yeah, I used my imagination when I was a kid. Like a lot of the vehicles, I would build them out of Play-Doh and stick my fingers in the Play-Doh vehicle.
That's kind of sad.
I thought it was using my imagination and cool.
But is it sad because you just couldn't get the
They were
toys
expensive
you
toys.
They were
Too.
expensive
That's why we
toys.
never had the big ones, because they were, you know.
They were like battery powered, like the AT-T Walker your friend had or whatever.
Yeah.
They had those massive D-cell batteries you could put in them.
Like as you walk, yeah.
Yeah, it
I
actually
remember it was like
walk.
super cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had none.
Kelly had no toys.
Nothing.
None at all. Okay. So, I mean, we rewatch the first trilogy, right? Mm-hmm. So after watching it again, I guess, what were your impressions of the series? Can you understand why there's such a massive fandom for Star Wars and why it's, has had a huge cultural impact?
Are you asking me or Steve first?
I'm asking you first.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the newbie level here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have so many questions that are probably never going to be answered. And just, look, again, I don't really have much to compare it to because I watched them once when I was like 6 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have much to compare it to. But like, the first movie was like, maybe it was supposed to be, it was like really campy. It was like cheesy, like Princess Leia, Princess Leia.
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia. Yeah. I know she's supposed to be the strong princess force woman.
Yeah. She was full of spunk.
No, she was annoying.
Oh.
She like
take it the wrong way.
The whole
oh boy.
The whole kidnap thing. Like, I mean, she was just, I don't know. She just wasn't. I wasn't a fan of hers per se.
You didn't like her iconic haircut, the buns on the side?
No, I know that's like a fantasy for most Star Wars.
The fantasy
nerds.
came later on, really.
Yeah,
the bikini. Yes.
Yeah.
But Luke Skywalker was whiny. Like, I wanted to slap him and say, "Boy, like, pull up your bridges and just be a man." Like, what's going on? He was in his little leggings.
He was just a simple farm boy.
No, it didn't do a thing. And Han Solo seemed very angry all the time. Like, he was brooding and like, I don't know. It was just kind of like...
He was an anti-hero. He was a smuggler, but he had like a heart of gold.
Yeah. I know. And then, not to mention those two little weird robots. Like, they might as well have been
C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah, they may as well have been in the Golden Girls kitchen eating cheesecake and bitching to each other because that's all they did.
They just bicker like
little
a
ladies.
They were comic relief.
Yeah.
Really? Was it comic relief? Because I just wanted to slap them upside the head.
Oh boy.
Especially the tall gold one. He was just like
C-3PO.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have not worked out in the Star Wars universe.
No.
You'd have been just like annoyed and slapping people.
I would have. Like, and then the second Empire Strikes Back, like, I know you would kind of explain, and I'm sure you'll say it here why, but like, it was definitely a lot better as far as like the dialogue and stuff like that. It wasn't as campy, but also like the campiness was kind of like just part of it. Like, the campiness was sort of the nostalgia of it, right?
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
So just to kind of level set, the first movie was the only one where George Lucas he wrote the script.
Right.
He directed it. It was all George Lucas, right? All the dialogue. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, George Lucas created the story.
Yeah.
But he didn't direct them, and he didn't write the script. So the dialogue was a different guy.
Yeah. Can we also talk about that weird little like alien band? Like, why were they at a club with
Are you talking about the first movie?
I don't know which movie
A New
it was
Hope?
in. They were just like a weird little...
You're talking about the cantina.
Yeah, a little like
yeah.
club bar, and
Yeah.
there was weird little like alien snake things playing like jazz. It was weird. I don't like. It was just weird.
Sounds
like,
catchy.
it was so weird.
So catchy. The cantina song.
And then the little like Ewoks were like fuzzy bears, but they were savage.
Now you're jumping to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about things that off the cuff of my head. I don't know where they're from. I'm just my impressions, right? These are things that are coming out.
Yeah.
I just can't help
So you
it.
didn't like the Ewoks.
Consciousness coming out of Kelly right now.
No, I thought the Ewoks were cute, but they were like, woo, they were
cute, but yeah, no,
they're feisty.
Yeah,
they were feisty.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the Luke Skywalker got a little bit better. He was, I mean, Princess Leia, I'm not gonna lie.
Luke Skywalker got a little deeper. He became a Jedi more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know people are probably gonna hate me for this, just my opinion. But I mean, the Princess Leia character never really hit with me. I don't know, didn't really hit with me.
Okay, you didn't find her to be like a strong female character, full of spunk and willing to stand on her own 2 feet.
I mean, she kind of lost me when she made it with her brother, but whatever.
She didn't know.
Well, still.
At the time, no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, honestly, she just wasn't really my Jimmy Jam character. I mean, maybe, I don't know, for no other reason than just that. But yeah, I mean.
So.
I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know where you're going with
I don't know.
So did they stand? Do you understand?
Yeah, I get why, like, people who watch those movies and, like, who were in the sort of generation that we're in, that grew up with those movies, I guess I could say, I understand, like, the staying power of it. Not for me personally, but people who like those types of movies. Okay. I get it. Like,
so you can understand why the Star Wars fandom is what it is.
Oh, no, I totally can get it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot, like, yeah, I mean, it's a movie that you definitely, like, it sparks your kind of imagination, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just didn't make sense to me.
All right. So, Steve, I know you watched the movies when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Rewatching them again, like, same question.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I can totally see why they were, like I said, coming out, like, it's hard now because you're used to seeing, either the new ones or new movies where, the effects and all this stuff are way better than they were back in the day. But when those things came out, like, it was completely different than any of the space movies that had come out in the past and stuff like that. So I totally get why it made such an impression on anyone in that kind of age group. Anyone who watched them back then in the day, watched the original 3, I can totally understand why.
Oh yeah,
it made such a lasting impression.
That had a huge impact on cinema.
Oh yeah, totally. And just the way they were shot, edited, the way they recorded everything, the effects and stuff like that, like it changed so many things.
Yeah.
So I totally understand why.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a double-edged sword though when they come back with the new ones.
Yeah.
It's hard to recapture that magic, that glory, and everyone wants it again. Yeah. So it's tough, but I totally get why there's still such a passionate following. I 100% get it.
But what do you, I guess, like, the question was, how, like, did you answer the question?
Yeah, but you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to know if we understood why they were such a, why they're still so relevant.
Yeah, exactly. So then after that, I mean, like, what was your favorite movie of the ones you saw?
Well, I mean, first, I think you should answer the question quickly.
I'm not talking.
Yes, you are.
No, I mean, I obviously, like, I think as part of Gen X, those movies were huge. Had a huge impact on our generation, right? We grew up with them. In a way, we kind of feel ownership of those movies because we were like, part of our childhood.
We're custodians of the brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Had a weird light bulb moment.
What?
Do you think, this is a question, maybe rhetorical, do you think that the Star Wars franchise has part of the reason why it's lasted as long as it has is because people like us who grew up with it, then those people that were super fans had kids and turned them into super fans. Like, do you think?
No, that's 100%.
But do you think that's where most of the fans are from, or like, do you think there's a lot of like newbie fans that were born or like in their 20s right now that are just experiencing it? I feel like it's more of a generational thing.
I think it's definitely a piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the generational fans, like, you're right, like, people who grew up with it, they had kids, they introduced their kids to Star Wars.
And they just kind of like,
it kind of kept going on. But I think there is, like, a lot of new fans.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is. But, like, do you think the new fans are watching, like, those first 3? Or they just jumped into, like, the...
No, I'm sure. I think if you get into it, you have to watch it. You have to.
Yeah, and this is where you kind of make it all off the cuff comment that we're the custodians of, like, the franchise.
Yeah.
But in a way, it feels like we are, right? Because,
yeah.
like, if someone's new to Star Wars, I'm going to talk about this more in a minute, but, like, changes were made to the original movies, like in the 90s.
Yes, which we've noticed watching them. It's like...
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's not right. That doesn't fit there.
Why is Hayden Christensen the first Star Wars? It's like, what the hell?
He's not the right Force Ghost. Get him out of here.
Yeah,
But if you're the first time watching this, right, and you're new to the series, you're not going to know any different.
I didn't know any different. Like, I didn't know things that you guys were kind of like, oh, they added that. I was like, what? They added stuff? Like, that's so dumb.
Yeah, well, because then it gets to the point, too, now, like, what we consider the first 3 movies aren't really, in terms of the story, they're not the first 3, right? So then you get new people. It's like, do they watch them in theatrical order?
Or
do you watch them in linear for story?
Yeah.
Right? So then there's all that stuff too, right? Where it's like...
Talking about all that stuff, one of my biggest complaints about the movie, the original 3, which I didn't like, was the fact that, like you said, they've been remastered, the audio has been fixed, they've added some things, which in theory, like the audio fixing stuff, but these movies came out in 77 and the early 80s, right?
Yeah.
I want to see the grainy, like when you watch a movie from 1980, you're like, that's from 1980. I want to see that. I don't want to see it all like smooth and like, that ruined it.
So George Lucas did some tinkering with the Star Wars movies, and he's kind of been doing it. He did minor tinkering throughout the 80s. He added like Laserdisc, did some improving of the quality of the video, added THX to the movies in like the early 90s. And then in 1997, that's when he made his first big change to the movies. When he started adding in these CG effects and doing all the extra scenes. And, from a fan perspective, I didn't like them.
No, that's stupid.
They feel like they don't fit in the movies at all.
No.
Example. So in like A New Hope, when after Han Solo meets up with Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker and agrees to fly them to the Death Star, right? In the original theatrical release, they just get on the Millennium Falcon, they escape Tatooine, and off they go, right? But in the scene George Lucas added, Han Solo goes outside, meets Jabba the Hutt, which is a CG character and doesn't look right at all. It looks like terrible CG. and then he has to explain to Jabba that he's going to get him his money and blah, 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 blah. And then they fly off and go to the Death Star. And for me, watching that is really jarring. It's like, this doesn't fit.
No.
It slows down the pace of the movie. Like, this scene is not necessary. It doesn't add anything. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing is that, like, all the stuff George Lucas added in those like special editions, they didn't add anything to the movie.
It's probably just more of a marketing ploy to be like, hey, now you can see Star Wars again for a full ticket price with a new, new footage.
Exactly, cash grab.
That's all it is. It's like, just put that, like, again, put that on like the DVD as like a bonus feature or something like that. Some people want to see it, it's cool, but you don't need to see it in the movie. Just put that scene as a bonus, back in the day with the bonus DVDs features and stuff like that. Just put it on there.
Do either one of you agree with me in the sense that, like, it takes some of the nostalgia away from it by making it not look like it was in the 70s and 80s?
I understand what you're saying. To me personally, I don't think I would care.
Really? I don't know why.
I don't know how I would think about it, but I understand what you're saying, though. You had to take away the graininess and
like the cheesiness.
Like, that doesn't bother me. I think that bothers you more than it bothers me.
It does. It feels like it takes away. Like, I'm watching a movie that looks like it was shot in 2024, but it's from 1977. Well, I mean, but I'm just saying. Like,
that's what bothers me is when they add in new scenes that weren't there before and they add in a bunch of CG for no reason. What doesn't bother me is when they're trying to, like, improve the sound a little bit, tweak the sound, tweak the colors to make the colors look better and clean up the film grain and stuff.
See, that
doesn't bother me so much.
And I mean, the only reason why the adding things doesn't bother me is because I don't know any different.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, maybe like,
that's the thing. If you haven't, I kind of obviously when Anakin Skywalker showed up, I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. But like that scene with Jabba the Hutt, I haven't seen it so long that I didn't realize that it looked weird, but I didn't clue in that this wasn't in the original film.
It looks weird because it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's just, but again, I think it's just more of like a, hey, let's put in some extra scenes to try and sell some extra movie tickets to people that have seen this 10,000 times.
Try to justify.
Give them a reason to come see the new
one. But
I
feel like the people like Eric would... I feel like you're not the only one that's annoyed by that.
Oh, no. I think
I bet you there's a massive sticking point in
yeah. I think it's a big debate in the Star Wars universe. If you go onto Wikipedia...
That's a thing?
That's a thing. It's like Star Wars Wikipedia.
What's a Wookiee?
That's Chewbacca.
Chewbacca was a Wookiee.
Yeah,
that's a species.
Don't even get me started on Chewbacca because he...
You don't like him? He's a big space dog.
Okay, yeah.
You like dogs?
He just makes noises like, and he always seems like he's mad and angry and yelling. I don't like it.
He gets frustrated because he can't speak to people.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I do have a question that I've been sitting here thinking about, and I don't want to forget it. It may be out of order. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so those 3 movies were out in like 77 to like what, 82, 83 or something?
83, that's pretty good.
83.
Pretty good knowledge there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You're learning, young Padawan.
Ooh, first of all, George Lucas, like he released those quick.
Yeah,
I mean, strike while they aren't taught.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so my question is, and I know that there's like a whole crap ton of movies and TV shows and all that stuff now.
Yeah.
But how long from that last movie in 1982 till they did a new movie? Because I feel like it was a really long time.
It was a huge break.
It was a massive, It
was 1999 when the Phantom Menace came out, which was the first prequel George Lucas did.
I didn't know it was that
between
long.
1983
it was a long time,
and 1999, there were no new movies.
People must have been losing their ever-loving minds.
There were a couple little things that kept Star Wars afloat. There was 2 cartoons. There was droids and Ewoks that were they kind of were in the early to mid 80s. They ended by 86, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. There were books that came out.
Yeah.
And then there was some Timothy Zahn books that were pretty popular. And then there was video games that came out. Nintendo released video games for the first 3 movies. But that was really it. And
it kind of doesn't. It just kind of...
That's pretty reflective of how powerful and how impactful those 3 first original movies were. For I can't do the math of how many years that was. But that was like a lot of years. And it's still like people... I don't know, was it 25? I can't do the math. However long that gap was, and people probably were losing their minds and lining up 3 days in advance to get tickets.
Oh, yeah. When Phantom Menace came out in 1999.
It was huge.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it was...
That's crazy.
Because everyone, I think, kind of thought Star Wars was done.
Yeah.
At the time, it was like, oh,
my
it'll never
gosh.
come back. Other than like because even when they did the re-release in like '97, was it with the audio and all that stuff?
Re-released them in the theaters again. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And that probably also spawned. Oh wait, people are actually going to pay to watch the old ones again.
Here we go with the prequels.
Let's see what we can do.
Do people dress up and stuff?
Oh yeah. Hardcore fans, they dressed up. They camped out for days.
Oh yeah. I remember going to see I can't remember which one I saw in the theater now. But anyway, I remember I remember two guys having like a fake lightsaber fight in front of everyone and everyone's cheering.
Oh my god, that was Revenge of the Sith.
I was like, oh good lord, this is lame. But it's
so
also hilarious, but it was
I mean, live your life. Trying
to use a force on each other. It's like, good on you boys.
Man.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's funny. Embrace it, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, I have great appreciation for people who own what they like and get into it. And to me, it's like a hobby for these guys, right?
Yeah.
Like it's their hobby. Like they read stuff, they watch stuff, it's a hobby. And so like I make fun and I tease and call them nerds, but like really
it's
like love what you
jealousy.
love.
No, and that's exactly. It's embrace it, have fun.
Yeah.
Love it. What the hell? You're not hurting anyone, have fun.
If it brings you joy,
exactly. If it sparks joy, like whatever Maria Kondo, whatever her name was. And
right.
Is she the one that tells you to like throw away your old junk?
Yeah, but say goodbye to it and appreciate it.
Oh, right. Appreciate your old junk and then throw it out. Gotcha.
If it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it.
Oh, very nice.
But anyways, it was great to see. It's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, the like staying power of that.
Yeah, I mean, like that speaks to the power of the fan base, right? The fans kept that alive without any new material for 20 plus years.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, how much money did that movie must have been like #1 for like a long time?
It made a lot of money. The Phantom Menace, when it came out, it was like hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't have the exact figure in front of me, but it was up there like in the most highest grossing movies of all time.
Oh yeah, I mean that was probably insane. Yeah, I can't even like imagine how crazy that would have been. Like, did you guys see it in theater?
Oh yeah, I've seen all the Star Wars movies in the theater.
No.
I think I did.
Did you?
Yeah,
I feel like you probably would have.
I think I did. I definitely saw the last of those three. That one I definitely saw in the theater. I can't remember. I don't remember now. I thought I did, but I don't know.
You might have. I mean, I feel like everybody at our age would be like, I have to go see it just to see it because of the curiosity alone.
Well, just the fact that it came out. Yeah. And it's one of those things too. Like I would love to go back and read some reviews on it because some people obviously loved it. Yeah. And a lot of people hated it.
I'm in the hate camp.
Especially in any Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
There was no way they could meet. The expectations would have been so high for that thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what they put out. It would never have.
But I feel like it doesn't.
To spark the magic they got the first time out, it's impossible.
But I think that's the magic.
After that long of a time, the expectations of what everyone's going to be expecting is.
But I think that's the magic of the franchise. Like, because even though, from what you're saying, Eric, like you hated the Phantom Menace, whatever, you hated it. But you still went to every other movie after.
Well, yeah, I did.
Right? But that's what I'm saying. That's the magic of the franchise. It's like, well, I can't not see what the next movie is.
Because I'm always hoping they'll be able to recapture that magic of the first trilogy, right? And they have, in my opinion, that they didn't. Like, the prequels were not great.
Yeah.
George Lucas, remember we talked about George Lucas, like, did the script for the first Star Wars movie. He did the scripts again for the prequel movies, and you got some super clunky dialogue.
Yeah.
A lot of movies, they don't flow very well together. Like, I think you were talking about this, like in A New Hope, the dialogue is weird. Like, they don't always like seem like it's natural conversation.
No, everyone's trying to make like a one-liner. Everyone's trying to be like a joke, and it just didn't work. It's
exactly,
too much of it.
And it's more of that in like the prequels.
I have a question though.
Yep.
I don't so from the Phantom Menace to when all the gazillion of other stuff came out afterwards. Did any of the original people from the original 3 movies, were they in any movies?
Not in the prequels. I mean, like bit characters like Chewbacca, Yoda.
Yeah, because they're not like real people.
Yeah. So anyways, so the prequels, basically the story of the prequels is Anakin's journey from becoming a little boy to Darth Vader. His journey from being good to evil.
Nobody cares.
What?
Well, a lot of
Nobody
people care.
cares.
A lot of people cared.
But no,
your Eric's face was like literal, like
no one cares.
WTF?
Like that's the similar crappy part. Like could have been a really cool story.
Yeah.
If they'd done it well, or maybe if George Lucas gave the reins to somebody else to go to do it.
But I feel
the idea is great.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes sense to do that.
A character like that,
trying to.
Yeah.
Is he just a little bit of an ego? He's like, I can do it all.
I think so. I mean,
I have no idea. I
don't really know the reason, to be honest.
You're not going to call George up and ask him?
I don't have his number.
You don't have the number. You don't have Skywalker Ranch on speed dial.
He blocked me. I don't know why.
No, but I was thinking more like the Princess Leia and all them. Did they come back at all?
Well, so they came back for there's a second trilogy that came out after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That takes place after Return of the Jedi. And this is when Disney had bought the franchise. And then you have Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford coming back.
Ooh, like for a full movie or bit part.
For for smaller roles in these.
They were all in them for.
Yeah.
I mean, they all wanted their big payday.
Well, Disney had that Disney money.
Do you know how much Disney probably had to pay them to come back and do it?
Yeah, Disney paid over $4 billion. It was like 4.05 billion, something like that.
I mean, they're not stupid though, because they're going to get that back.
No, to buy the rights to Star Wars for $4 billion. Yeah.
But was Harrison Ford in it for more than 30 seconds?
Oh yeah, maybe a third of the movie.
That's
probably.
shocking.
Yeah, no, they came. Yeah, they were in the movies. It wasn't just like a little cameo. Where
but they were old.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. I'm down this rabbit hole of questions.
Okay.
Another question.
I think we have to watch the rest of these movies, maybe.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I have to give it another shot.
Yeah.
But did those Princess Leia and Harrison Ford? What's his name again?
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Are they still together?
Oh no! In the movies in the last trilogy that came out. No, they're not.
Are they do they break up in the trilogy? Or
so a lot happens in between Return of the Jedi and then the first of the new trilogy.
I'm so invested right now.
Yeah, so I mean, Han Solo and Princess Leia, they were together. They had a kid.
Ooh.
But their kid, he has a problem. He turns to the dark side, and that's sort of like in the new trilogy. That's kind of what happens.
Why?
Because he, well.
I mean, we don't need to know all the details of why.
Yeah.
It was more.
He basically he really idolizes his grandfather, Darth Vader. And he wants to be like him.
How is that his grandfather? I'm confused. I'm missing the family tree.
Remember Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker are brother and sister? They kiss, unfortunately, and they found out after they're brother and sister.
And Han Solo was
Remember
pissed.
Luke, I'm your father.
And Darth Vader says, yeah, I'm your father.
Luke's dad.
Okay.
And it turns out that Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia
Do they have the same dad, though?
They're twins. They're twin brother and sister.
Oh,
twins.
The plot thickens.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, do they recover from incestually kissing?
It's never spoken of again.
I was going to say, I think that's just...
but they're friends.
That was one of those plot
sister.
Points that probably someone forgot about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And after the movies came out,
it's actually really funny.
Crap.
If you watch interviews with Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher from back in the day when Empire Strikes Back came out and Return of the Jedi came out and they read the script for the first time. They're like, oh no, we're brother and sister? Gross. They have the same reaction everybody else did. We kissed in the last movie and now we're brother and sister? Oh my God.
That was probably one of those plot points somebody forgot about. It was like,
yeah.
Oh crap!
But it's probably...
that's where I think George Lucas is want to call BS on him sometimes.
Yeah.
He basically says now I had the whole thing mapped out from start to finish.
You did.
But it's there's a lot of holes in these movies, pal. I don't think so. I think you did the first movie, maybe had some loose ideas for the rest.
Yeah.
For sure. I'll buy that.
Had maybe a overall story arc. But
not But I can't think George Lucas was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make the brother and sister kiss and that'll be weird.
So
the guy didn't make Howard the Duck, so you don't know.
That's true.
That means that kid, Luke Skywalker's his uncle.
What?
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he actually trained him in the ways of the Jedi, but then he turns to the dark side. No.
See, that was a whole other discussion the three of us had. It took me a very long time to understand what the Force was. I was like, what? I don't know.
It's a lot of work trying to watch movies with Kelly.
Is.
It's just watch the movie.
I gotta admit, I was exhausted after.
I know. I try, but my brain just goes, and then it's just whatever. Now, this is unhinged.
You've got that squirrel brain going on.
I do.
That's right. You need the Force focus.
I do. Ooh, could I have the Force?
The Force is basically meditation.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Being in the present moment.
So, now I'm invested. What was the kid's name?
You are. You're your Jabba's little pet. The Muppet that's
Isn't Jabba the bad guy?
Yeah. But you're I don't know what the heck I know you're done with it.
I don't know the name of the thing. He had the big floppy ears and the big nose. I'm not saying you look physically like him. Personality wise, maybe a little similar.
Okay, that's fine. I can own it.
Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think?
I know I'm unhinged, okay? It is who I am.
Yeah.
But what's the kid's name?
What kid?
The evil kid?
Oh,
is it the good son, that movie?
Sort of.
With Macaulay Culkin?
Or the good son, the bad son? He's the bad son.
Sort of, I guess,
I know, I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter if you don't know the name, that's fine. I'm over it. But one quick question and we can continue on. I'm very invested in this family tree storyline. I really am.
Yeah. That's why it's called the Skywalker Saga, because basically this one family, the Skywalkers, they kind of script the entire universe when you think about it.
I mean, go figure.
Yeah.
But is Han Solo and Princess Leia amicable?
Yeah. Is
there underlying passion?
The underlying passion is still there. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
They miss each other.
You don't get over Han Solo.
Yeah. Basically, their son turning to the dark side kind of split the two of them up.
They blame each other?
Yeah. They blame each other for that.
That's what happens sometimes. Yeah. And also, like, I mean, this is very like space opera. You're right.
This is why it's called a space opera. Yeah. It's melodrama.
Take away all the weird little alien things, and I just want to hear about the relationship between these two.
Yeah. The Han Solo Princess Leia story arc.
Anyway, continue on.
Yes, let Eric has his notes here.
You really threw me off track.
Sorry,
I don't know where I am now, to be honest.
Give Kelly the iPad.
Yeah. No, real-time learning.
So you kind of touched on it, right? In the Star Wars world, there's kind of two major shifts that happen, right? Mm-hmm. There is the George Lucas era. Mm-hmm. That's from 1977 to 2012. Mm-hmm. And in that era, you have the original movies, the prequels, and not a lot else aside from some extra things that happened, video games, books, that sort of thing, right? And then in 2012, George Lucas sells the Star Wars franchise to Disney for $4 billion. Oof. And at that point in time, Disney goes all in, and they oversaturate, in my opinion, the market with Star Wars.
They want to get their money's worth.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Let me give you a couple facts here about what Disney's done so far since 2012. So not a long time, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
They've done 5 movies in the theater with 9 more planned in development. So that's a lot of movies. They got
9 movies. Wow.
Yeah, they've got 5 TV shows they've done, 5 TV series with 2 more in development. I've seen a couple of those. That's like The Mandalorian.
Oh, Baby Goblin.
Yeah, well, Grogu.
Grogu, yeah.
Baby Yoda,
Goblin.
Grogu.
Yeah.
You call him Baby Goblin.
I do.
And then they've done 6 cartoon series. So Disney's really pumping out the Star Wars stuff, right?
Plus they got like that massive display. Is that at Disney or no? Where's the big Star Wars down in Florida?
Oh, Disney World.
It is Disney World, right?
Yeah,
Disney World,
so that massive attraction down there too and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They got to get their make that $4 billion count.
No, look,
exactly.
I mean, just really quickly about that and Disney World. Like, I mean, that thing, like my sister just went there and she's not a Star Wars fan. And she was like, it was really effing cool. And she's not even a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
And that's the weird thing from my perspective as being a Star Wars fan, Disney did a lot of stuff to ruin the franchise in my humble opinion, but they've done some cool things too. Like the Star Wars Village and Disney World, I think is cool.
Because it's tied to the original stuff and whatever, but in terms of...
I haven't watched all the TV series, but I thought The Mandalorian was good with Baby Goblin, with Grogu. I thought that was good, and I thought the Obi-Wan series was good as well. So Disney's done a couple good things. The movies themselves... And
I'm curious how with another 9 movies, I would really be curious as to what...
It's all like spin-offs.
What has to be, yeah.
There's like Lando Calrissian, the Billy D. Williams character.
That's going to be stuff like that, yeah.
There's a movie for him.
Maybe we'll see a story about Jabba the Hutt's pet.
Is there going to be a story about the 2 robots? Because I feel like that needs
might be.
There was a cartoon in the 80s just for them called Droids.
I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of weird, like, seedy cantina based video where it all just takes place in that bar.
All the
they could do that, like Cheers, but Star Wars Cheers.
Yeah, and that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
but maybe make a little blue,
a little darker.
Yeah,
creepy.
Yeah,
I mean, there's lots of characters they could definitely spin off from.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
But for me, being an OG like Star Wars fan, it's hard when they put out new stuff and it doesn't fall in line with the Star Wars I'm used to.
Yeah, but they don't care because you still watch it.
I know. That's the weird thing, right?
You hate watch.
I do hate watch.
That's a lot of people. That's right.
Yeah. And I mean, Disney's been a bad spot in a way, right? Because they've got to deal with people like me who are like original Star Wars fans, trying to appease me, but bring on like new fans at the same time.
Well, they want to keep that's the hard part is you want to keep faithful to the loyal fans.
Yeah.
But to build the universe up. And you spend $4 billion.
Yeah.
But I feel like
they want to make as much money as possible.
I feel like that doesn't even need to be a priority for them, is to keep the old fans, because I think no matter what, the old fans are there.
Yeah.
Well, they know that.
And they know that. They want to get new fans.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is keep this thing growing for
so when all of us die.
Yeah.
No, not
we're dead.
You know, they want to, for, like, again, $4 billion is going to take you a long time to make all that money back. So you want to do as much as you can to keep that gravy train going.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, to kind of bring this like full circle, we kind of mentioned as Gen Xers, we feel like custodians of the Star Wars stories in a way. Is it time for us to let go and be like, you know what, Star Wars is a story for young people. It's let the new generation have it, and all these changes and stuff. It's okay.
Look.
Let it go.
No. Do what brings you joy. If it brings you joy to be in the Star Wars universe and to be fandoms and all that stuff, do it. However, like, I also think it's kind of cool to have like a special like ownership over the original 3 and like hold it really close to you for the nostalgia's sake. But I get why they're annoyed at some of the changes and the new stuff, because it's just different. It's never going to be the same as it was, it's also a different time when these movies are out. It's just different, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think they need to let it go. Live your life. Be happy. Give yourself joy. If sitting at home and watching The Empire Strikes Back every night makes you happy, then you do you, boo.
Okay. All right. Steve, what do you think?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I totally get why people either love it or hate it that these things are still being made and produced in new ones.
Yeah.
But I don't even know, to be honest. I'm trying to think, like, what is the right answer or not the right answer. What do I actually feel? Because I don't know. Like, I get, honestly, it's like, you know what? Again, it's almost like, I think, just embrace what you want. If you only want to watch the first three and you think those are the best ones in the world and they're the only ones that should exist, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But let people have it too. Like, things grow, things change.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about it. So just embrace it, enjoy it, hate watch it, whatever.
Yeah, you're still giving them money.
Because you do get some cool stuff out of it. Like I said, it's still going, which is cool. You get like like now you can go to
Community.
you can go down to Disney World and actually like be in that village, which it looks really cool online.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I think it's fine. But I do get, I understand both sides of the coin as someone who really doesn't have anything super invested into it.
Yeah.
It's like, let them have it. Have fun with it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, exactly.
What about
What do you think, Eric? He's like, you're both idiots.
You're both wrong
Shut
on
up.
this.
I'm done this podcast. Turn off the microphone.
His hands all clenched beside him.
It's that little Arthur meme. I can see the fist.
No, I don't think like we should let go of like
No.
Star Wars at all. Be like, you know what? Like all the changes are fine. I think the changes is fine as long as they make sense.
Yeah.
For me, it's the biggest thing, right? If you're gonna make a change, make it add value to the movies, like the way they tinkered with the original 3.
No, don't do that.
And add that stuff in. Don't do that. And like make the actual theatrical original movies available again for people like me who want to see them without all those add-ons, without without that Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost. Make those available again.
Yeah.
Right? For people like me. And if you want to like do the tinkering and people want to watch those versions, cool. Right?
Yeah.
But don't make your changes canon. And then if you're gonna like, I think there's lots of room to add new stories and make cool, dig into the characters and stuff. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But you can do it without impacting like the original stories. And I think for me, it's just lazy storytelling. If you do changes and it suddenly changes like how the original stories went.
Yeah.
So I think there's room to make new stuff and leave the originals intact.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. Leave the originals how they were because they were loved the way they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the newer fans, they're going to like it or not, whether you do like, so don't, I think that's what's kind of annoying for me and I don't even care. But like tinkering with the originals that we grew up with to appease the kids now.
Yeah.
Sorry, screw that.
The funny thing is, though, that all happened on George Lucas's watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the kind of more ironic part.
Yeah.
He's the guy who created
he sold
it all.
out. He sold himself out.
But he did it himself, Like
Yeah.
Disney
like it.
hasn't touched any of that stuff.
No.
Right? They're doing what you should do.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Leave the original as is and branch out. But,
Yeah.
it's just kind of funny that, the creator's the one that... And now it's like, but that's how it is. Like,
Yeah.
the old ones are dead. These new ones that I add these extra pieces in, that's what it is.
No.
It's weird.
The old ones are what made you who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, humble, dude.
So I think we're all in agreement then, sort of more or less.
I don't even know what my point of view was,
I
but
think it was more or less like, you can enjoy the originals as they are.
Yeah.
And make new stuff without impacting the originals.
Well, that's
no,
the
like
biggest
leave
thing,
the movies. Well, even like the Phantom Menace in like 40 years when that's old as dirt, like don't change it. Just leave it how it is.
Yeah.
Or at least they haven't done that yet. They haven't gone back and redone A New Hope.
Yeah.
Redone Empire.
Ugh.
That'll
make me go mental.
You try and do that, that's gonna you're gonna have like World War III within the fandom.
You might have people boycott.
Over there. Make new and different. Keep those first three
It's
as
what
they are.
It's what started the franchise. It started the cultural thing. It started the community. Like, just leave it how it is. Let people live their life and be happy.
You don't need to do like another like a Roadhouse reboot or like a Maverick Top Gun
No.
reboot.
No,
Just keep these things on
Exactly.
their own.
They're so powerful.
Let them be.
They're so powerful on their own.
Yeah.
You can't touch them.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So with Star Wars fresh in your mind, you know what time it is? It's quiz time.
Quiz time.
It's
All
quiz time.
Ask me the question first because I'm more than likely not to know the answer. And if I don't, then Steve can answer.
So I've been accused of having very tough quizzes in the past.
Yeah.
So this one's easier.
Okay.
Easier. You ready? Okay, we got 5 questions. Kelly, you're up first. Question 1. What actor was the voice of Darth Vader?
Okay, I feel like this is a trick question because when I remember watching one of the movies, there was like 5 names listed for Darth Vader.
Give me a name. Who's the actor? The voice Darth
I
Vader.
don't know. It's the guy who was in the baseball movie. I don't know his name.
You actually, whoa.
But I don't know his name.
No, but I'm surprised. Yeah, James Earl Jones.
Yes.
Steve
But
gets it
yeah,
right.
but you actually, it
It's
was
the
from
baseball
the
movie
Sandlot.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not the Sandlot.
He was in the Sandlot.
He was in the
No,
Sandlot.
I'm talking about the
Oh,
baseball
you're talking about,
movie, the
Field
of Dreams.
Field of
Field of
Dreams.
Dreams,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also in that movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
See, I'm not dumb.
All right. Question 2. I'll give Steve the point for that one.
I was close.
You're X. Question 2. What was the name of Han Solo's ship?
It was like some eagle or bird or something.
We talked about it on the podcast today.
It was like a bird or something, wasn't it?
It-
Bald eagle? I don't know.
Okay, X for Kelly. Steve?
Millennium Falcon.
Steve gets 2.
You were close.
That's
You're-
the
gets
ship?
2.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about a planet when you were saying Millennial Falcon.
Well, no, that's
the name of the
Falcon.
ship.
You were close, though. You
Yeah.
were in the
You
bird.
bird
See,
territory.
I'm not that bad.
Okay, so Kelly, you're skunked so far. You got to come back now. You ready?
Okay, fine.
Okay. In Return of the Jedi, what species helped the rebellion fight the Empire?
Oh, it's little teddy bears.
And
Teddy
the names
bears.
are?
I don't know. They're the teddy bears.
Not teddy bear. Okay, well,
We're the Ewoks.
Ewok. Teddy bears
Steve.
count.
Steve just got bonus points for singing the Ewoks theme song from the cartoon.
I thought maybe that would.
But you have to
spark
admit,
something.
I'm not as bad as
You're
I'm,
Okay.
you're in the ballpark.
right.
Steve is batting 1,000 and you're batting zeros. But okay, question 4. What year was the first Star Wars movie released?
1977.
Boom!
Wow.
I don't know
Boom.
why I know that, but I
Boom.
know
Well,
that.
because we've said it like
Yeah.
7 times, but no, that's
And it was before
I
I
should have
was
said
born.
boom because I just told Steve that was right. But anyways,
Well, it's fine because
Steve would have got that.
Yeah, you would have got
All
it.
right, so Steve, you're 4 for 4. Kelly, you're 1 out of
Yeah.
4.
97.
And last question. What color is Luke Skywalker's lightsaber? And I'll take either color.
I didn't know there was more than one. I know it's not red because that's the bad one. What's the good one? Blue.
And green.
Oh,
Right?
there we go. Yeah, blue and
Blue
green.
and green, yeah.
There you go. So
I don't
Steve,
even-
5 out of 5 today.
Finally.
And Kelly, you are 2 out of 5.
Okay, but I was closer than I've ever been.
This is probably the best you've ever done out of quiz.
Right?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. But I mean, hopefully this podcast, like we kind of want to just talk about May the 4th be with you. And I mean, there's like a million things you could talk about with Star
Well,
Wars.
Star Wars is such a big. We thought
Yeah.
we'd just kind of focus on the
Well, and more
3 movies mostly.
and more
Yeah.
just focus on like, you know, watching it now as adults versus kids and the different levels of knowledge we had.
exactly. And like, our ownership of it as Gen Xers and all that stuff.
But I do
Yeah.
have to say, I am kind of now intrigued with this whole like Han Solo, Princess Leia, evil seed child.
So you might watch the
story.
new movies then.
I mean, I might.
Yeah.
I
Right.
might. We'll see, guys. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, talking about Star Wars and happy.
May the
Happy
Fourth.
Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Also, again, guys, I love nerds, candy, and people.
That's everyone loves nerds.
Yay, nerds.
But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye, everyone.
May the 4th be with you.